Welcome to 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Today's show is brought to you by Gentry Academy in Blaine. On today's show, we will have Megan Stone from Gentry in studio to take a little closer look at the academic and leadership side of the school. Also on the show, we'll talk about the t-shirt I'm wearing to honor Peter Harrington of Mounds View. But before we get into the show, let's talk a little hockey. On Sunday at the Independence Classic, several teams took home some hardware. We saw two championship games. The 03 Blades beat Miracle Gold in a shootout, and the 01 Finlandia Hockey Club out of Thunder Bay took out X-Pro 6-2 in their championship game of the 01s. In other games, other champions were crowned as well. 07 Tommy Chicago's, 06 the Machine Black, 05 Euro Red, 04 Precision Hockey, 02 Machine Black, and in the 99s, Map South won the hardware there. Today we sat down with Megan Stone from Gentry Academy to talk about the academic and leadership side of the school. Here's that interview. We're joined today with Megan Stone from Gentry Academy. Thanks for coming in today, Megan.
Thanks.
You were a big hit on the show the last time.
Thank you.
All of our subscribers, all of our viewers are asking for more Megan Stone, so
Yeah, right.
we're going to give it to them, right?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit more on the academic and leadership side.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the kids at your school. You told me off camera a little about them. It reminded me of when I was growing up. We had a really good group of athletes and students, and you're describing these guys at your school the same way. Really cool to be in school, really cool to do well in school. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, it's a very unique environment. They are all competitive young men, and they are all great at their sport. But at our school, it's also really cool to be smart and to do the best that you can, and in an appropriate, safe, good way, they're encouraging each other to do their best, which sometimes that doesn't happen in a traditional school, and it's really neat to see that competitive side being used for a really positive thing.
Yeah, it's one thing to be on the ball field or the ice rink to be competitive, but also in a classroom too. And,
Right.
and you guys sounds like you're putting together an environment that's really conducive to that.
Right, and it's okay to fail, and it's okay to get something wrong, but they are very much encouraging each other to do their best, which is just amazing to see.
Yeah,
For
so-
example, in February, we had a Love to Read month, and the person that got the most minutes got a free lunch. And
I can only imagine, I know some of the kids in your school, I can only imagine what that was like.
it was amazing to see that they were, excuse me, so excited and reading during lunch. And, you know, I had one boy read over 1,000 minutes. A couple of them actually did. We called them the 1,000-minute club. And one of them came to me and said, "My secret passion is to read."
That's
and
good.
to see that is just amazing. So
That's really good. Okay, so you talked a little bit about failing. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So we know now know that the kid, if they get a certain bowl grade, they don't get access to the ice. So talk a
Yes,
little bit about that.
below a C on a quiz or a test, we really want them to come off the ice. And we pull them from the ice. Obviously, parents are notified, and the coaches are in full support of this.
It's got to be like a red letter day for a person, right?
Yeah.
My son is not done well in school, but now to add insult to injury, they get to sit out on the ice. What happens when
No.
they don't get ice? What
Right, no, it
happens?
actually is a really good environment. It's not a bad thing because we have a room with licensed teachers, and we'll always have that so that that child can get the help that they need, so that they can feel successful off the ice, and then ultimately they're going to feel more successful on the ice. So you're off for, you know, a matter of time until you really can get that. It might be an hour, it might be a little bit more, but it really helps us solidify what they don't understand.
All right, so let's talk about some of the traditional stuff. So it's a private school. So what kind of testing do you guys take your kids through as far as some of the more statewide stuff?
We do all of the state testing that is required by public schools, which is the MCAs and the MAPS tests. But we take
Don't
it
even
in.
bring that up. I hate MAPS tests and
I
MCA
understand,
week.
and,
It's
you know,
miserable as a parent.
We understand that standardized tests are a way of our world, no matter what, but we also want to do an additional thing. So we do actually some paper and pencil tests. We have a math consultant that comes in and looks at those paper and pencil tests, and we try to look at the whole student, not just a standardized score. We do that to have something as well, but we want to bring it as a holistic group and look at each child individually.
All right, so talk about one of my favorite things when I came to visit the school was how you test your kids a little bit different ways. You had this
Right.
NHL draft last fall. Talk a little bit
Yes.
about that, because that was really cool to watch the kids go through this, how stressful it was, and all the things that they do in that
It
way. Talk a
was.
little bit about that.
Yeah, so a way to bring in statistics, probability, life skills, we decided to do an NHL draft. So each child was given a name of a team, and they had to draft players. They had to write a personal check for each player. They had to keep
So
a
they had to
register.
figure out how much the value of a player was,
They had
which
to
I'm
know
sure was staggering to
It
them.
was amazing, and they
had to
go
manage
through
a
the rounds.
budget too, right?
Manage a budget, write a
Love
check.
it.
Then once they got their team, after 4 hours of a very stressful experience, really,
Did they do trades?
they weren't allowed to do
Okay, all
trades
right.
this year, maybe next year.
All right.
But then they each week kept stats on those, and there was winners and losers, and it was interesting to see kids have to deal with, I lost that player, how do I get another one? How do I make the right choice? And that really is about probability and chance and statistics and pulling all of that into real life. You know, we can learn this stuff from the book, and we learn this stuff maybe even for the state test in some ways, but it's how we try to really bring it in to truly learn it for life.
Yeah, well, the best part is it's fun. I mean, I'm
It is
sure
fun.
here I get to own the LA Kings and I get to buy these players.
Oh, we
and,
had
you
some
know,
kids dressed up like you in their suits. One boy brought
Oh,
a
I love
briefcase.
it.
It was awesome.
I love it. I
It was
love it. Well,
awesome.
that personalizes it too. Like now
does.
they're going to be a businessman. They're going to be a GM or owner or whatever. That's
Exactly.
pretty cool. That's
We
pretty
want
cool.
everything that they learn here. I mean, we know that the athletics are great. You've talked to all of our coaches. They support us 100%. But it really is the academic and leadership that's going to carry them wherever they want to go, whether it's on the ice, in the boardroom, or in a surgery center, or anywhere else.
Yeah, it's your job is to bring that out of them. And they came probably as hockey players. They might leave as doctors or businessmen or, you know, you never know.
We can talk about our dissection next time.
Yeah,
that was
too.
fun.
That'll be fun. Well, next time we're going to talk about some other things
Yes.
that we've talked about off camera. Looking forward to having you come back here
Yep.
in a few weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Megan, for joining us on 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. Thanks, Megan. Always great to catch up with you and learn about what the kids at Gentry are doing in the classroom. Last week's Tommy Chicago's trivia winner was John Fisher from Invergrove Heights. John was the first of several who knew that Ryan McDonough of the New York Rangers was the nephew of former Cretin NFL star Steve Walsh. This week's Tommy Chicago's trivia is going to be a little harder. It came to me today when someone asked me who Wiz Wyatt was. When I described him, he then asked, where did he play high school hockey? The first person to send an email to youthhockeyhub@gmail.com and tell us where Wiz played high school hockey wins dinner at Tommy Chicago's in Mendota Heights. Over the next 2 weeks, YHH will be generating its list for this fall's Pee Wee Challenge. 85 players at 3 separate levels will be invited by YHH to play on June 1st. The event was a blast last year. Just 2 levels and Bantam Elite Championship. This year we have 3 levels and the Bantam Elite Championship with all 4 championship games played back-to-back at Bloomington Ice Garden. As you can see, I'm wearing my Pray for Peter t-shirt. Peter is Peter Harrington from Mounds View. 2 weeks ago, he was hospitalized and put into an induced coma with bacterial meningitis. Peter is still hospitalized. His condition seems to be improving every day, but please keep praying for him. This shirt was given to me by Eric McCabe. Eric's company, Shirts Unlimited, is making these shirts and distributing them to individuals and teams. They can be located on the web at www.shirts.com. That's shirts with a Z.com. We will also continue to share links via Twitter as well. Cost for the shirt is $20. All the proceeds go to the Peter Harrington Fund. Tweet of the week. Sometimes I roast myself, sometimes I roast my wife, but this week I brag a little. Last week during Game 7 of the Rangers Cap Conference semifinal, I chose Matt Niskanen and Derek Stepan for the Butrigas Overtime Challenge on Twitter. I tweeted those two, and obviously, as you know now, I choose a Minnesota connection. Thank you to Hastings Derek Stepan for helping me to win my first challenge win. It felt really good to finally win, and I'm going to brag about it. Tournament invites. We are slowly sending out tournament invites to teams for our 4 big winter tournaments: the Big Pumpkin, the Blue Ox, the Founders Cup, and the YHH Squirtacular. If your team is interested in an invite, reach out to us via email at youthhockeyhub@gmail.com. This week's Boom Roasted goes to people in our Minnesota audience who think we invented the game. Sure, Minnesota puts a lot of kids in college and pro hockey, but it's not as many as you'd think. Sure, we have the best system in the world that produces great hockey players over and over, but we have never generated a superstar, trade the franchise type NHL player yet. So it's time to take off the rose-colored glasses and take a pill and wash it down with some reality juice. We are Minnesota nice, which in hockey terms means we got a lot of nice players, but none that are Pat Kane or Duncan Keith. Thumbs up. Thumbs up to Minnesota Wilderness on winning the Robertson Cup this weekend, beating the Austin Bruins to win the NAHL. And the Sioux Falls Stampede on their series win, and the Clark Cup winning the USHL. A lot of nice players from Minnesota on all 4 rosters. Thumbs up to them. Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Keep battling, Peter. We're behind you. Hope to see you and everyone else around the rink real soon. Have a good day.